Yes, I think it's recording now. Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to discuss Portal 1221 and all the energies leading up to it. Um, Unfortunately, like we haven't been given any official dates on the portal about 1221 yet. We have just been told about its existence, and we've been told that it will open sometime this year. So everything that I'm going to present is my understanding. So don't go around quoting that, Cobra mention any of this because there's no official confirmation yet. It's too sensitive to discuss because it is the end of a 13 billion year cycle, of the universe's expansion and contraction, So we're at that point right now where the universe is just about to go from expansion to contraction, and that's why. So this is the moment of the no breath, basically, and you can call this. That's why we can call 1221 an ascension portal, because what's happening is that Source wants everyone to come back. Uh, Source wants everyone to, to come back and ascend back into Source, basically. So that's what's the reason behind the Ascension portal. Just give me one sec. Is it bothering you? Sorry. Yeah. So that's the basic premise of 1221. The other premise of 1221 is that it allows Source to kind of intervene in the universe. So far, we've been going through all this hell, especially on this planet, but also elsewhere in this universe. So, so basically, once 1221 opens, it at that moment of the no breath, it will allow Source to directly intervene in the universe, right? And Source will be able to remove all the darkness, and that is the real reason why our planet is being uh, freed of all its darkness at this moment in time, this year. You know, that is the real reason. Like, if we were not at the end of the cosmic cycle, then I don't know if our planet would be. It might not have been possible to liberate this planet. We might have been destroyed. Actually, this planet might have been destroyed. But I mean, there was a big chance of this planet's destruction all throughout these past 3 decades. Actually, there were many such moments, but somehow we made it here. You know, and now we're finally at that moment where the source can directly intervene and remove all the darkness in this universe. Um, Although, yeah, so that's why 1221 is going to be an enormous moment, and no one kind of knows what's going to happen when it opens, because it's not something any of us have ever seen before. As I said, it takes 13 billion years to for such a moment to come again. 13.7, 13.8 billion years. It's a moment like that only happens once in 13.7 billion years. So no one has seen this. Even the lurker actually is a being that was created in the first cosmic cycle. But the lurker is not a being from this cosmic cycle. It's from the first. It's the primordial lurker, like created at the beginning of time. So it must have been like many cosmic cycles ago. All the lurkers in subsequent cosmic cycles have been cleared. Only the primordial lurker is being cleared. So it's a totally different kind of consciousness. And actually, the lurker didn't actually manifest in the quantum space before this cosmic cycle. So this is the only cosmic cycle where we have something that's actually manifested. Like the darkness is actually manifested so much. Before this, in all the previous cosmic cycles, we did not have. I mean, there was a theoretical potential for darkness to exist, but it didn't manifest itself. So this is the only cosmic cycle where darkness actually manifested. So again, this moment is extremely unique. I don't think the whole universe has not seen a moment like this where darkness manifested itself and it will be cleared at the end of this cosmic cycle. So there are many keys. The source basically has been sending many keys to this universe, and especially to this galaxy and to this solar system and to this planet, to liberate itself from all the darkness, because the whole universe's evolution is being slowed down by our planet's the darkness on this planet, because we're the only planet with darkness now. The whole universe's darkness, the whole universe's quantum fluctuations, the lurker, the toplet bombs, all those bad things, everything is concentrated on planet Earth, especially on the surface of the planet Earth. So we're the last planet in this whole universe that still has any remnants of darkness. Actually, not just this universe, we're the last planet in the whole multiverse. And once our planet is liberated, our universe can finally continue its ascension into more and more light. And at the end of the next cosmic cycle, we will all merge back into the whole universe will merge back into one rainbow ball of oneness. That's been said on the portal. But that's after the next cosmic cycle, not right now. That's 13 billion years after now. Right. So that's kind of the theoretical overview about 1221. And I'm actually quite confident about when it opens, because I know the mechanism by which it will open, and that mechanism has been confirmed as well. So I'm pretty sure I got the date, right. And there's many quotes in the interviews as well, the Cobra interviews, that talk about August 2025 as the opening of the Ascension portal. So I think I'm pretty confident about the date, about 1221's opening. Yeah. Any questions at this point?
Yeah, Joel, are you saying 13 million or 13 billion?
Billion, not million.
Billion. Okay.
Billion.
Thank you.
So the galactic superwave happens every 26,000 years, but there's the 26,000 year cycle of the galactic superwave is it's a sub part of a 225 million year galactic cycle. So every 225 million years there's a bigger galactic superwave. The small galactic superwaves are 26,000 years, and the cosmic cycle ends once every 13.7 billion years. You can even search it up, like look up when the Big Bang happened, right? The Big Bang was 13.8 billion years ago. So that's the number I'm talking about. Yeah, you didn't hear that wrong. So, and
Yeah,
it makes
you.
it so special, Yeah. Any other questions at this point? Okay. So is there no? Oh, someone's asking something.
No, I was just coughing.
Okay, no problem. So yeah, I think we can talk a little more. I mean, I want to really dive deep into astrology, because I don't think. I mean, there's a few people, some people who have spoken about this astrology. The Portal blog is one of them. There's a few astrologers talking about this moment, but no one really knows the exact moment, in my opinion. But there are some astrologers who have looked at the day I'm talking about as well, and they know that something is big on that day. Something big is happening on that day. But I mean, I think there are many groups, secret groups like Templars, for example, like the US Dead Clock. They know, and they have given some subtle hints. They have actually used the timestamp of 1221's opening in one of their tweets. They have used the exact same timestamp. So I think they know, and they have mentioned 1221, and like Matthew 12:21 and Revelation. They have mentioned quotes from those things in the US Dead Clock website. So there are many secret groups who know about this portal, but I think until 2023, until the Chimera was removed in September 2023, and Portal 1221 was declassified in October 2023. So until the Chimera was removed, you could not even get any hints about this big portal. It was because the cosmic evolution was so much in danger. But now that hopefully now cosmic evolution is not in danger that much, so we can talk about 1221. But that being said, we are too close to its opening. So basically, okay, I think we'll talk about astrology now. Let's show you the astrology, and then we can talk more about theory. So let me just see. Where's the screen share? Mm, Okay, screen share. Okay, let me just close everything else. Just give me 1 second. Yeah. Okay. Let me know if you can see the screen.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I posted a bunch of stuff on my blog about this as well. Written many articles about this. But let me see here. I'm trying to show one chart right now. This one. This is one chart. We can try to talk about this, this one, right? I don't know if you've already seen these charts, but and then we have a lot more here. One sec. Wait, someone's trying to join the meeting. I'm trying to find this chart. Yeah, this one. And then we have, so there's a lot of theory. This is it's a kind of a complicated thing, actually. It's not very complicated, but it's a little complicated. So I'm trying to, yeah, this one, all this stuff. This one, and yeah, I mean, this one. There is, yeah, this one also. Okay. Okay. So actually the chart that has been called the most important one is midpoint, the midpoint one. Where's that one? Yeah, this one. Okay. So this is the midpoint, right? We have the two lines. We have two lines. One is Neptune, the green point, green line, and we have the Uranus-Pluto midpoint, which is the blue line. And you can see we have 5 conjunctions over here. And actually, if you zoom it out, you might be able to see a little better. So I think if you zoom it out, it looks a little better. Let me try to see if I can show you a zoomed out version. Yeah, this has the zoomed out version, this one. Yeah, so basically, what I'm trying to show you, if you can see my mouse, can you see this line at the top? Like there are two lines towards the top which are kind of coming together, basically. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the same lines that I was showing you in the previous graph as well. But so these are the lines of Neptune and the Uranus-Pluto midpoint, right? And you can see that they come extremely close to each other many times. But so this starts in, I would say, yeah. So you can see here, it starts in 2020, this diagram, and it ends in 2031. And you can see in 2020 the two lines at the top left, they're not touching yet, but they're coming close to each other. And then 2021 closer, 2022 closer, 2023 even closer, 2024. So at the beginning of 2024, they're quite close. Okay, and then in 2025, you see there's a exact intersection. Like if you zoom in, you can see the intersection. This is the intersection in 2025 where my mouse is right now. So that was the intersection, and then as we move forward, there's another intersection in August, right? And I mean, I think he has shown this another line, but we don't need to worry about that one. So that's the intersection in August, and if you see that is the first time that these lines they intersect below this horizontal axis, basically, right? So we have this 0 degrees Aries, this solid axis, basically, and that's the first time they intersect below this axis in Aries is in August 2025. And then, we have two more intersections. So when you start 2026, you have an intersection. And then you have one more in 2026 as well. So you have two in 2026. And then from that point onwards, they kind of just keep flowing and they don't intersect again, basically. But basically, you see a very strong, 5 intersections within 2024 to 2026, basically. Sorry, one. Yeah. So that's the same chart as I was showing here. It's the same chart, just extremely zoomed in, basically. So we just see the intersections more clearly. And so these are the 5 intersections, and it starts on September 27, 2024. Then the second one is January 5th, 2025. Then the third one, the middle one, which is the first time they intersect in Aries, is August 18, 2025. And the fourth one is March 2026, and the fifth one is July 2026. But the third one is the most important one because it is in the middle of this process, and it is the first time they intersect in Aries. They change sign and they intersect in Aries. So Neptune entered Aries on March 30th, 2025, and it stays in Aries. You can see it stays in Aries till October, And what's even more interesting is that this intersection actually, if you zoom it in, you can see that this blue line, the Neptune, the Uranus-Pluto midpoint, the blue line, you can see it becomes almost flat. It becomes almost flat in August. When they intersect, the midpoint is actually stationary. So that makes this conjunction even more special, So this is all geocentric. Okay, this is from Earth's perspective. So right now you have to understand that 1221 is not just for the Earth. 1221 is the cosmic cycle ending. So it's not just for the Earth; it's for the whole cosmos, right? So right now we're only looking at one planet in this whole universe. But that being said, this planet is the most important planet to look at right now because this is the last planet with darkness, right? And the cosmic cycle ending means the end of darkness for this planet. What? Someone's chatting something. Okay. Yeah, so that's why we have to look at this chart from a Earth's perspective because this process, this 1221 process is happening simultaneously for the whole cosmos and also for Earth and removing the darkness on Earth. So basically this third intersection in August is what we have been waiting for since, as you can see, like these lines, we've been waiting for these lines to basically intersect since at least, I mean, the last time they had any intersection was 1505. Um, so at least 520 years, 515 years, something like that. Yeah. So we've been waiting for this moment since 1504, 1505. And I mean, there's much more that makes this intersection special. The fact that it's happening at the end of the cosmic cycle, and then there's a lot more astrology also supporting this intersection point. But basically, this is the placeholder, and this is the marker we have been using to determine when the big changes are going to happen, basically, on this planet and also this cosmos. So you might have already seen this chart before, actually. And actually, this phenomena of Neptune at the midpoint of Uranus and Pluto, it leads to antarion conversion. It actually creates the antarion conversion process, basically. So this is basically the hint that was given on the portal in October 2023, and this is what I decoded last year, and I made this illustration that the midpoint is actually 1221 is kind of like the point in the middle of the antarion cone. So you can see this whole double cone is like it represents antarion conversion, and it also represents the you know the flow of time, basically, and how you can see that in the future you have a futures cone and you have a past cone. And what Antarion does is it sends you time reverse loops from the future to the past, so that you can basically quickly accelerate the conversion from darkness to light, basically. Darkness to light, or basically you can basically super evolve the universe in a very quick manner. Antarion conversion is a much more complicated process than, let's say, and conversion, which was a linear flow, basically. Antarion is a very quick way to transition between two completely different reality systems. Basically, the whole idea of Earth going from 3D to 5D. I don't know if you've seen that, but let me see if I can show you a chart on that. This one, yeah. I mean, you can see in this as well, like you have the old world, the 3D Earth world, whatever, and then you have the 5D Earth world. And we don't mean to say that Earth is going to stop existing in the physical plane. That's not what 3D, 5D means. That 3D and 5D are just measures of consciousness, human evolution, stuff like that. We're not yet moving to an etheric planet or something like that, but that will probably happen after the super wave. But anyway, so yeah, you can see the Antarion conversion happening between the 3D world and the 5D world, and there's that 4D portal. What they've written is basically Antarion conversion that changes the reality very quickly. So that was the. So why does Neptune at the midpoint activate Antarion conversion? Because you have to understand what is portal 1221 and what point 1221 means. So point 1221 is connected to also your heart. Actually, there's a point inside your physical heart. It's called the Luxor point, and it basically it's kind of like it causes the alchemical transition from spirit into matter and from matter into spirit. It's like the merger of two opposite kind of opposite flowing cones, in a sense, like you know it's like the midpoint that kind of this point, this 1221 point actually rotates in a certain way, and that rotation actually creates the alchemical merger of spirit into matter and matter into spirit, basically. So there's a lot more that actually there's a quote that I found about this, which you might be interested in seeing. I had posted that long ago. Yeah, this one. So you can read this point 1221 in the middle of the Antarion conversion is a permanent atom of the divine presence, which holds the star core of the archetype of the perfect reality. And this permanent atom creates space and time by rotating around its axis. And then the magnetic field, which emanates from 1221 point, creates a vortex of fifth to sixth dimensional essence of the liquid light, which causes transitions of spirit into matter and matter into spirit. And you can enter and exit through time-space doorways into many dimensions, stargate systems of reality, etc. Basically, so yeah, this 1221 point is basically a conversion inversion zone. Basically, if I had to describe it in simple words, however complicated that might sound, but basically it's a doorway. It's a stargate. If you look at the symbol of a stargate, it looks exactly like Antarion. I think yesterday I had posted something about Gungnir. I don't know if anyone saw it, but basically you see the Stargate, the Ingus basically looks like Antarion. Even the Gibo looks like Antarion. So the Gungnir symbol looks like 1221 in a sense. Even though it looks different, it does have a connection. Um, so I mean, actually, Gungnir is actually very important. It's quite relevant to 1221. Actually, it's actually very, yeah, anyway, we might talk about it if we have time. But so this is about why this Neptune at midpoint is important, because it opens the doorway for Antarion conversion to be anchored on this planet and also this universe, and also this solar system, because this Neptune at midpoint thingy, which I'm showing you right now, where is it gone? This one, yeah, this one actually, this same thing, the same phenomena happens from the sun's perspective as well on the same day, almost the same day. So on from Earth's perspective, we have 5 intersections, but from the sun's perspective, we only have 1 intersection because there's no retrograding, basically. So you only have 1 intersection point, and maybe it's kind of, maybe it's a little important. So I'll show you what it looks like. It's just 2 straight lines intersecting, but maybe it gives you a little better perspective. Any questions on this so far? Oops. Yeah. So this is from the sun's perspective, and you see, you have the midpoint in blue, and you have Neptune in green. And Neptune will enter, actually just entered Aries. I don't know if you can see it, but Neptune just entered Aries from the sun's perspective, like I think 2 days ago on May 23rd, actually. So so yeah, and then you have so if I really zoom it in for you, maybe you can see it a little more closely, the intersection. So yeah, Neptune in Aries on May 23rd, and then the midpoint in Aries June 15th or something like that, and then the intersection happens on August 21st, basically. And there's only one such intersection. So that's it. Like yeah. So this is going to start Antarion conversion for the whole solar system, basically this midpoint, and this is kind of what I've been using as my placeholder for Antarion conversion in 1221, August 21st, basically the date when there's a heliocentric midpoint conjunction, basically. So this is so it is very coincidental that the geocentric version and the heliocentric version happen on almost the same day. Geocentric is August 18, heliocentric is August 21st. So they almost happen on the same day, almost. So in my estimation, 1221 opens on August 21st due to this heliocentric conjunction. Now there are other cycles as well, actually. So this is one cycle, the Neptune at midpoint, and this is actually kind of the most one of the probably the most important cycle because it kind of creates the new Renaissance energy. It signifies the peak of new Renaissance in 2025 when this midpoint, the third midpoint, happens. It will signify the peak of the new Renaissance. Um, and actually, it doesn't always happen that we have 5 such intersections. Like if you look at if you look at 1500s, for example, the last time when such something like this happened, there was only one intersection. Now let's see it geocentrically. 15 or let's see it. You'll see there's only one intersection here. You see it. There's only one intersection. There's no 5 intersections. So it is very lucky. Like even if you look at the year before that, 991, you see there's only one intersection. And then even before that, if you look even before that, again, there's only then there was a few intersections, I think. I don't know how many there were. 3 intersections, okay. But anyhow, we have not seen 5 intersections before, in my opinion. Yeah, this is another way to look at it. I mean, it's just a little bit zoomed out, but so there are many other aspects supporting this configuration. So this is not just happening in isolation. There are many, many, many other things supporting this midpoint activation, which we'll talk about. But any questions on any of this so far? Or any thoughts or anything?
I have one question
Yeah.
about August 21. So is that the Lionsgate portal as well? Is that the date for that, or?
I mean, I don't really know.
Okay.
I don't really follow. Honestly, like, what does Lionsgate mean?
It has to
It's just a
do with
word to
Lyra?
yeah. With what?
Something with an alignment as well. Might be Lyra something. There's yeah, I don't know. It's been mentioned like over the years from Cobra and other people. I can't
I
remember
don't
what
think
it
I've
is
ever heard
exactly.
the portal. I haven't seen it on the portal. Maybe if you saw it, then let me know.
Okay.
I think I mean, there's this fallacy. You know, people think that the felines came from Lyra. The felines have nothing to do with felines. Those felines are from Sirius. Lyra is more about angelic development. Lyra actually has nothing to do with human development. So the other thing about Lionsgate is that I believe it's called Lionsgate on August 8th, 8/8 basically. That's what I have
Oh
heard.
yeah.
Now I don't really know like the astrology behind it apart from the numerology. I think it's more like a numerology thing. I know this year there is something on August 8th, which I have also written about, but like last year, for example, I couldn't understand why people are celebrating August 8th because astrologically, I couldn't find anything on August 8th. I found something last year on August 16th, but I didn't find anything on August 8th. But this year, there is something on August 8th. Yeah.
Yeah. It has to do with 8/8, like you said, and it's linked to an alignment of Sun, Sirius, Orion, and Earth.
Yeah,
The
I think
ancient Egyptians
for
connected
astronomy.
Sirius with, yeah, something to
Yeah,
do with Sirius.
I've heard of that. Now, the thing is, I'm talking about Sirius as well. Like, I've been talking a lot about Sirius, and actually, I don't see anything astrologically on 8/8 with Sun and Sirius. Maybe there's some astronomical thing. Now, I'm not doing astronomy right now. So maybe there might. I know that's the heliacal rising of Sirius is on July 26th every year. So I know Sirius comes into the sky. That was the new year for the ancient Egyptians, basically when
Mhm.
Sirius appeared in the sky every year, July 26th. But as far as I'm concerned, the Sirius stuff is on 2 days. The first is January 4th, and the second is July 7th. So that's when Sun and Sirius and Earth have like either a conjunction or an opposition, basically. So I mean, there might be some astronomical reasons, there might be some numerological reasons, but as far as I'm concerned, yeah, this doesn't have much to do with Lionsgate, as far as I think.
Okay.
Although you can celebrate it if you want. I mean, it's good numerology, of course. Last year was actually 888, so I think people were celebrating it because of that.
Mhm.
But yeah, the kind of astrology I'm presenting, I would say, is kind of very esoteric, you know. One sec. It's yeah, it's full moon. Okay, cool. It's full moon as well. Yeah, this year 8/8 is interesting. It's a full moon. This year 8/8 is actually very interesting. Then we have a full moon, and we also have a flash from M87 galaxy, geocentric flash actually. Maybe I'll show you the chart and you can see it. Because that is another day I looked at as well. 2025. August 8, 2025. Yeah, so you see here, wait, let me move it back a little. I just want the moon to be conjunct Pluto. Yeah, okay. This is a good moment. So, so you see over here you have Pluto at 2 degrees 15 minutes. Wait, let me actually use magnifier so you can probably. Yeah, Pluto is at 2 degrees 15 minutes Aquarius, and Moon is at 2 degrees 15 minutes Aquarius as well. And apparently you're saying it's a full moon. I think that's true. It is a full moon as well. And these two, Pluto and Moon, they make an exact trine with the center of M87 galaxy, which is down here at 2 degrees 14 minutes Libra. So you have those two, Pluto and Moon, trining M87 galaxy. Exactly. And you can also see some really beautiful things apart from that. Like you see, we have a 6-pointed star sort of a thing going on as well. But anyway, we'll talk about that as well. But basically, that's why 8/8 this year is something I have also seen because of the Pluto M87 exact trine, which should result in another flash from M87 to Earth. We'll talk about the astrology of August. There's a lot to talk about. Lots. It's jam packed. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. If there's no other questions, then I can show you some other charts. So actually, this chart is directly connected to what we were talking about 8/8. Because you see on August 8th down here, you have this trine, this intersection over here of Pluto with M87. The black line is M87 and this red line is Pluto, basically. So that's what's happening on 8/8, which you can see here as well. Before 8/8, we can see, so this is just the charts of the outer planets and M87 galaxy, M87 is this black line over here at the bottom. This straight is just like a flat line basically because the center of that black hole does not move basically. And here we have Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto. Yeah, that's it. And this is a geocentric chart, which is why you're seeing all this, up and down motion and stuff. It might look complicated to you, but it's not that complicated. I'll explain everything. So you see on May 25th, that is yesterday or today or wherever you are, Saturn entered Aries, right? So people were asking me like, why is this important? Because now you see, all the outer planets except Uranus are now in their new signs. So Uranus will enter Gemini in July on July 7th, but Neptune is in Aries starting on March 30th. Pluto entered Aquarius last year in November. Now Saturn has entered Aries on May 25th. Saturn is okay. I mean, it's. I'm not too focused on it. I'm more focused on Uranus onward. But it is good to know this because the Saturn cycle began the previous Saturn cycle. So Aries is the first sign of zodiac, right? So Aries began on Saturn in Aries began in April 1996, and that was just after January 1996. We all know that was a Archon invasion. So basically, from April 96 till May 2025, we had this Saturn cycle. And now we've ended the Saturn cycle. The previous 29-year cycle is over. So from today onwards, basically, we are experiencing the energies of, the liberation. Basically, Saturn has also been liberated from all the cosmic evil that took place in its previous cycle, you know. So that's why Saturn in Aries is nice. But when you see now, if you see closely, you'll see that in on July 7, we have a very interesting kind of Neptune basically intersection with the M87 line, right? Uh, at the same time, Saturn is conjunct Neptune, so and Uranus enters Gemini. Uh, so it's a very important moment, July 7th, from the outer planets perspective. But when you move forwards from there, when you now look at August, firstly, as you already pointed out, what happens on 8-8 is very important. Pluto trine M87. And then when you look ahead after that, you get this intersection of Uranus with Saturn. There's a sextile, okay. And then you have this other Uranus with Neptune. You have another sextile towards the end of August, right? But what you also should see is the fact that all of the outer planets, you see Pluto, Neptune, Saturn, and Uranus, right? All of them, all of their lines, you can see all of their lines are so closely bunched up, basically. That does not happen in July. Look at July. Uranus is somewhere, it's not in the picture. If you look at September, Saturn is not in the picture, you see. Although Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto, they are quite close in September, I would say that's still pretty good actually. And then October, you have again Uranus and Neptune are moving away from Pluto, but the most close bunch up of the four outer planets is in August actually, as you can see, and the closest point is approximately around towards the end of August, like in the middle, 2/3 of the way, like August 21st, basically. So one sec, someone's trying to join. Yeah. So and then another thing you need to notice in this, wait, maybe I won't zoom out, is the bottom line, the Pluto line, basically, and the green line, Neptune. Okay, so you see both of them are coming closer and closer together. So if you look at July, okay, these two lines, the bottom two lines, Pluto and Neptune, they're not really that close, So you look at right now where we are in May, they're very far apart. Neptune and Pluto have quite a big separation, right? But then you come to June, they come closer. You come to July, they come quite close towards the end of July, and then in August they come very, very close, So that is the Neptune sextile Pluto aspect, and that actually then starts fading out when you go into September, and then by October it's completely almost faded out. But in August, this Neptune sextile Pluto aspect is the most powerful, is at its peak, basically, I would say. And this they will have Neptune and Pluto will meet next in the next 7 years. They will meet, I think, like 7 times or something like that between 2026 and 2032. They will meet like more than 7 times. I think 9 times or something like that. So that is basically the next set of harmonious astrological convergences from 2026 to 2032. I think there was even a post somewhere about this, like last year. I don't know if you've seen it, but there was a list of all the. It was in September, ending the cycle. Yeah, this. So these are the Neptune sextile Pluto exact Neptune sextile Pluto dates. So July 2026, September, June and October, June and November, May and December, and April and then February. So, I mean, we can even look at this with the chart. I mean, it's okay. We can spend some time because this is a little important. So we just do Neptune and Pluto, and then we just remove this. Okay. 3, 4, 7, wait, 10 years. Okay, my chart is not very pretty. What? Okay. Yeah, so this is okay, it's not very pretty. So maybe we look at it from 2025 onwards. I guess this will have to do, I guess. So you see in 2025 for the first time, they kind of, okay, let's show you from 2024 actually. Even if it's not pretty, it's okay. We kind of understand what's happening. Either this or we can see if there's another chart over here that is better. No, I think it's okay. Just give me 1 sec. I need to sneeze. Actually, it's fine. So yeah, you see, in 2024, you have Neptune and Pluto. I mean, they're changing signs. You can't really see much, honestly. But in 2025, you see in Q3, 2025, you have, as I said, in August, they come very close to intersecting, you know. Then in 2026, you have these two exact sextiles, two exact intersections. 2027 also you have two exact intersections. 2028 you have two exact intersections. 29 you have two. 2030 you have two, and then you have one in 2031, and then you have two in 2032. Right. So this is the future basically. You know, this is going to basically have this. We have a 7-year process of you know, disassembling, or what do you call it, reshaping or something. We have a 7-year process of, what was the exact words, decomposing of the old reality. So in 2025, a 7-year process of decomposing of the old reality will begin, basically. And this 7-year process will involve many exact Neptune Pluto sextiles, right? And Neptune Pluto sextile gives you a very high vibrational spiritual energy, basically, right? And then at the end of this process in 2032, a well-known economist, Martin Armstrong, predicts the system as we know it will not exist anymore. And then Earth's magnetic field will drop below 50% in 2032 to allow the increased solar pre-micronova activity to collapse the surface of civilization based on electricity and internet. And this is a chart that just shows you the magnetic field strength. It drops by 2037, it's gone down to 0. That's when the solar flash occurs. And 2032, it's dropped below 50%. But basically, that is the future. So that's what comes after 1221 opens. We start decomposing the old reality. You know, this whole surface civilization that we have based on electricity and internet, it goes basically, we transform it into something that uses, like, you know, all the advanced space stuff, all the advanced energy stuff, all the advanced everything you can think of, you know, the golden age, basically. And this golden age is being supported with this high vibrational energy of Neptune Pluto sextile. But you can already see that this process begins in 2025 itself. Even though they don't have an exact intersection, we have something that's almost exact, very close to being exact, even in 2025. So 2025 as a year is kind of like, you know, if I show you like a zoomed out, like a little bit, like from a few years ago, you'll see that this Neptune sextile Pluto aspect, you see these lines in 2022, for example, they're very far apart, you know. 2023 also, they're very far apart. 2024, they are, I mean, you can't really tell from here. Maybe it can be seen in a different way. I don't know how to show it better. Yeah, but basically in 2024, their closest point was in August. I don't know how to show that. But okay, here you can see down here, right? Like over here, you can see that their closest point was in August last year. Um, and they kind of came quite close. But what you see in 2025 in August is they came really, really close, like almost intersected. Actually, the separation, I think the closest separation is probably less than, wait, let's see what this closest separation is. 21, 0 degrees and 21 seconds. They are only 0 degrees and 21 seconds apart. That's it. So this is the date of the closest separation. And you can see that uh, Pluto is 2 degrees and 2 minutes, Aquarius, and Neptune is 1 degree and 40 minutes, Aries. So their separation is only 0 degrees and 22 minutes apart. So they're very, very close to being exact, basically. So yeah, this Neptune sextile Pluto is also, by the way, I showed you August 18th, right? It had Neptune exactly at the midpoint of Uranus and Pluto, which you can also see here. Like Neptune at 1 degree 40 minutes, Aries is conjunct the midpoint of Uranus and Pluto, which is also 1 degree and 40 minutes, Aries. Sorry, there's a lot of data points. It's very, very messy right now. But you can see that at the same time, Neptune is making an almost exact sextile with Pluto. So this really supports the Antarion conversion process, the new Renaissance energy, basically. And at the same time, like if you look at the chart of this day, like you can see many important things. For example, firstly, you can see a 6-pointed star, you know, which is, a hexagram flower of life sort of a star, basically, which is connecting us to source. The other thing you can see is Neptune is conjunct Saturn, and both of them make a minor grand trine with Pluto and Uranus. So there's small triangle over here on the top. Maybe it's a little difficult to see it, but I had written a post here. We can just pull it from here. So yeah, this is one way. Let me just find it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is better to see it like this, basically. So Neptune is 1 degree 40 minutes Aries, or 1 degree 37, whatever you want to see. And then Saturn is 0 degrees 45 minutes. So both of them are at the Aries point, 0 degrees Aries, or 1 degree Aries, basically. So that's the Aries point. That signifies a new beginning, right? Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. And then you have Pluto here, almost 2 degrees Aquarius, and then you have Uranus at 1 degree Gemini. So you have the exact Neptune sextile Pluto, and you also have the minor grand trine among all these outer planets. All the 4 outer planets make a minor grand trine. So this is again a very harmonious configuration, and at the same time, obviously Neptune is at the midpoint, exactly at the midpoint of Uranus and Pluto. So at this triangle, basically, this point, the tip of the triangle is exactly in the middle. So it's a very, very harmonious geometry. So, and this doesn't happen. So the last time we had this Neptune at midpoint configuration, there was no, there was no geometry. Like if you look at the chart of 1505, whenever that intersection happened, I don't know the exact day, but if you look at 1505, there's no configuration. So Uranus is here, Pluto is here, and Neptune is here. And you can see if I just show you those 3 points, then you'll see there's no real geometry going on. Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. You see there's no geometry between these points. If you look at I don't remember the exact day. I don't remember the exact day, but it doesn't matter. There's no geometry. For example, if you look at it this time, if I'll just look at 2025, you see the geometry is going on. If you look at before that, again, there's no geometry. Before, all the midpoints before this have not seen any geometry before. There was some random, there was something in 476, I guess. But this year you have a very strong geometry going on between the outer planets. and Neptune sextile Pluto as well going on. So these are drastically empowering the Antarion conversion, the opening of 1221. And so that's why I'm saying August is kind of super relevant, because as I was showing you earlier, I don't know which one I've shown you, this one. The Neptune sextile Pluto aspect is the most powerful in August, actually. But it will begin making its presence felt even in, end of June or July. But mostly I would say in August, we will really, really feel Neptune sextile Pluto and the midpoint, obviously. So this is all geocentric and, what else is there? I mean, on July 7th also we have Neptune sextile Pluto. If you look at it, Neptune sextile Pluto is as strong as it has ever been. So last year, Neptune sextile Pluto peaked at around 0 degrees and 49 minutes of separation. And on July 7th this year, we have the exact same separation as last year. Actually, last year was 0 degrees and 53 minutes separation. So I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Last year, the peak of this Neptune sextile Pluto was on August 16, 2024. And on that day, you have 0 degrees and 53 minutes of separation. For example, I mean, you can easily find this out. Like if I just, run it forward, you see 0.54. And then you play it forward and then it stations. So 0.53 was the separation last year. And if you look at July 7 this year, is 0.49 already. So we're already better than last year. We have, equally strong Neptune sextile Pluto as we did last year. So from basically approximately July 4th onwards, we have Neptune sextile Pluto becoming stronger than it ever has been, basically. And it will only keep getting stronger. As I already showed you, like in the next 7 years, we have many exact sextiles, If you keep playing it forward from July 4th onwards, you'll see it kind of, even where we are right now, where are we, May 25. 1 degree and 59 separation. I'm looking at this one at the bottom, this box actually. That's the one I'm looking at. Yeah. So you keep playing it forward and you'll keep seeing the separation keeps dropping. This is the whole of June. Then you enter July, it drops below 1 degree, and then you keep playing it forward. And then you reach August and it's 0. The entirety of August is almost okay. It peaks at 0.21. So entirety of August is actually very close to being exact, or whatever its most powerful point will be, very, very close to that. 0.26 when you begin August. So yeah, and then it becomes stationary on August 19th, August 18th, the same day as the midpoint configuration. Even Neptune sextile Pluto becomes stationary. Very interesting. And then you keep playing it forwards, and then you'll see it just separates after that. So but we haven't really seen much. I mean, like, for example, like where we are right now, we're not really, I mean, we are experiencing it, but it's going to get much more powerful when we enter July, especially. Like July 7th, for example, gets below 1 degree, which is, when does it enter below 1 degree? June 29th. Okay, June 29th onwards, it drops below 1 degree. And then it stays there until I would say sometime like October. Yeah, October 8th. Okay, fine. Between June 29th and October 8th, the Neptune sextile Pluto drops below 1 degree separation. But the peak of it happens in August. Peak of it happens in August. The whole month of August is super, super important for this aspect. So we've spoken a lot about this now. I think we can move forward. There is another aspect, kind of a smaller aspect that I wanted to show you, but it's actually not smaller. It's actually much bigger than it's actually much bigger than even what we've spoken about right now, uh, in my opinion at least. So on August 21st, this is a heliocentric chart. We have Pluto at 2 degrees 42 minutes Aquarius, heliocentrically from the sun's perspective. So this is the same day as the Neptune at midpoint configuration. And at the same time, Pluto makes an exact square with the Shapley attractor and dipole repeller, which are these like supermassive gravitational structures that kind of, you know, I mean, if you think MED7 is big, then Shapley is at least like, I don't know, two levels above MED7. So after MED7, you kind of have Great Attractor, and then you have Shapley Attractor in terms of gravitational structure. So Pluto makes an exact square with Shapley Attractor on August 21st. And again, this is again something of cosmic importance. You know, a moment like this, the next time it'll happen is after 160 years. But basically, it's a very big coincidence. You know that like everything, all the stars they align on August 21st. You know, so this is one more aspect on August 21st. And then, you know, leading up to August 21st, you have many important dates. I think one of the important dates is 8/8 is certainly very important when you have the Pluto flash. Then I mentioned some other dates like 8/11, you have Venus. You have a triple conjunction of Venus with Jupiter and Sirius. So if you look at it from the sky, it's very beautiful. You know, we'll look at it now. Uh, this is geocentric. I'm just throwing all the astrology here just to make you aware of the things that are about to occur. Yeah, you you see, we have a Venus, Jupiter, and then Sirius. Okay, Sirius is somewhere else in the sky. But astrologically, at least, we have a triple conjunction of Venus, Jupiter, and Sirius. If I show you here, August 11, 2025, I'll show you all the points. We have, you see down here, we have Venus and Jupiter and conjunct Sirius as well. And then you can see, I mean, we have many nice astrological configurations. As I already pointed out that we have a 6-pointed star throughout August. You know, so you can move this time forward and back. Like if I show you just the trines. Yeah. So you can see on July 26th itself, we have this 6-pointed star. You can see it in the middle, right? So it's not active until July 18th is when it begins. The 6-pointed star. It begins on July 18th, and then it's continuously active throughout August. It's active throughout August, and then it kind of loses its shape in September, basically. Yeah. So throughout August, you have this. You can see the 6-pointed star going on of all the planets and all the asteroids. So this is very relevant, actually. It is also related to source. It is also related to, you know, flower of life. You know, the you know, connected to like many things like merger of feminine and masculine. So that is one more aspect of Antarion, and you know, one more aspect of 1221 is this whole numerology aspect. But I'll talk about that as well. So you see the 6-pointed star going on throughout August, and then you have the one sec. You have this merger, as I was talking about, this merger of plus and minus, like the polarities. So the numerology of August 21st is like 8 and 12. You know, if you reverse 821, you get like 1208 basically. So it's connected to command 1208 basically. And command 1208 is like a super secret command that talks about like you know, masculine and feminine merger and ascension and stuff like that. It's on the portal. Actually, the Command 1208 was posted on August 21st in 2017, actually. So exactly 8 years before 1221 opens. So 1221, the opening is connected to this Command 1208, is connected to point 1221. So there's like, I think there's like a, you know, some polarities basically merging together as well. Because August is the feminine month, right? Eight, you know. Eight is the symbol of the goddess, the infinity symbol, you know. So that is there, and 21 represents 1221, you know, something to do with like masculine and feminine. Something is going on. I'm not exactly able to put my thumb on it, but something is going on with masculine and feminine. Yeah, I mentioned a lot of things. Is there any question? If there's no other questions, we can also see that Pluto makes an exact trine with Sedna on August 27th. So where's Sedna? It should be in Gemini. Sedna is over here at 1 degree 50 minutes Gemini, and Pluto is at 1 degree 58 minutes Aquarius. So Pluto makes an exact trine with Sedna. Maybe it's better to see it like here. Maybe I'll show you the Pluto trine Sedna. Pluto and Sedna. Okay. Yeah, so you have a bunch of Pluto and Sedna trines. So we have many from 2023 till 2025, right? And it was even mentioned on the portal many times, this aspect. So down here you can see the last one was December 10th last year. The next one is August 27th, and then the last one is November 5th. So Pluto trine Sedna is also happening in August. So again, this is also going to bring us much more harmonious energies and kind of signifies the end of, because Sedna's orbital period is talking about the end of the 26,000 year cycle, the galactic superwave cycle. And Pluto trine Sedna kind of introduces you to the galactic superwave, which won't happen now. The plan was to have the galactic superwave this year, but that won't happen. So this aspect is just going to bring some high vibrational energy, I guess. There was something on the portal as well about Pluto trine Sedna, like last year. Mhm. Sorry, I've just been like throwing astrology at you. It's just so loaded, actually. So yeah, Sedna trine Pluto, this aspect will create a powerful flash of energy related to the completion of this cosmic cycle and the beginning of the next one. So that was last year in December, which we see over here as well. And this is the last, almost the last Pluto Sedna trine, almost one of the last ones. The last one is November 5th this year. So yeah, I mean, we spoke almost about everything astrologically, actually. I think. Yeah, I mean, here also you can see this Neptune sextile Pluto at the bottom going on in August, you know, very close in August. Um, so as of July 7th also it's quite close, but you see before that these two lines are not really close to each other. But then last year, for example, if you look at last year in August, like over here, over here, they came quite close in August last year. Over here, where my mouse is, they came pretty close. You know, but not as close, for example, as they come this year in August, like where my mouse is right now. They come so close this year, so close. And then you obviously next 7 years you have many exacts, you know. So yeah, I mean this was the story. I would say this chart. I don't think there's anything I want to talk about right now. We already discussed everything here. Maybe we can talk about some more theoretical stuff, because there's a lot of theoretical stuff that can also be seen. Um, yeah, so for example, we have like many ideas, right? Apokata stasis is one of the ideas. One of the ideas is that the universe will be restored to its perfection, basically. That idea is called apokata stasis, basically. Uh, Basically, like at the end of the cosmic cycle, the universe will, God will come and kind of everything that's been done will be undone, you know. So, restoration of creation to a condition of perfection, basically. So this is that idea, and obviously they have confirmed it as a heresy, but like whatever, that's not true. So we had this idea of apokatastasis at the end of the cosmic cycle. The other kind of nice stuff is I mean we have to understand how huge this moment is basically. So Ascension total. So for example, like in last year in April, we were told that there's a huge ascension, enormous ascension portal, and that has already begun making its presence felt in other universes. So actually, this is very interesting that 1221 is, oh my God, it's not just for this universe. I didn't even know this. It's actually for the whole multiverse. More precisely, that is the beginning of the process of bubble nucleation as part of the transition from false vacuum to true vacuum in the multiverse. So actually, 1221 might be actually the entire multiverse might be uniting. Actually, yeah. I mean, all the other universes have actually already been integrated into. I guess many of the other universes have been integrated, but I think at the end of of the next cosmic cycle, probably the whole multiverse will become one. Maybe we'll see. We'll see. So yeah, it is an enormous ascension portal. That's what it has been called. And then you have the opening of the ascension portal of 2025, which is an orientational milestone for us to estimate when the big changes are expected to occur. And then what you have, uh, ascension portal 2025, and all of this is good. There's one more final removal. Final removal. Yeah, this one. So this is the first time 1221 was actually mentioned in October 2023, that you have an even more powerful doorway which will open, which will lead to the final removal of darkness from the universe and also final liberation of this planet. And then they give this hint, which I already spoke about, the cones, this one. I already brought this up. And this future doorway is already sending time reverse loops through space-time, and this is where the events and situations started to accelerate. But you see, the words are very important. This 1221 will lead to final removal of darkness from the universe and final liberation of this planet. So a lot of people, they have been saying like, they are not sure if things will change this year or not. They will change this year. Most likely in July or August. my estimation is for changes to start in July itself, when we have the Sirius pulse. But we'll see whether it's July or whether it's August or whether it's neither, which I don't think it can be neither, because the cosmic cycle needs to end, and this planet is hindering the evolution of the universe and stuff like that. And also the source can intervene in the creation, etc. Um, anything else? Any questions? Any thoughts?
I have one question.
Yeah.
What do you think about what Cobra has been saying recently about the light workers needing to like kind of be better prepared for the event, or like do you think that's, I'm just wondering if what that would look like, or if maybe the energetic changes are just gonna occur first for Earth, and then that'll give us some time to sort of get a little bit stronger or a little bit more aligned before the actual physical event happens. I wonder if that's part of this summer, what that looks like.
Didn't really understand the question much.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on like what Cobra said about light workers needing to get prepared, or that the event wouldn't necessarily happen before we kind of went through an improvement somehow? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah. So you have to read this post about the gamma timeline, right? I actually tried to bring it up recently, but anyway. So this is the thing, right? In May in May 2018, we shifted from the beta timeline to the gamma timeline. And actually the date was May 15th. That is the day when Uranus changed its sign to Taurus, which it has been since May 2018, And now Uranus is leaving Taurus for the first time in 7 years. So that's why we'll be, whatever will happen on July 7th. But so the gamma timeline calls for direct physical intervention of the light forces in the lives of surface light workers and light warriors as soon as possible without triggering turbulent bombs. And then we have, the light forces need to understand that without physical intervention, the surface collapse will soon become an irreversible process, and they need to take some risks, exert their free will, and physically intervene. The surface society collapse has come to the point that bodies of many light workers cannot handle the situation and are collapsing also. There are many incidences of strange illnesses, body function collapses, heart attacks, and near-death experiences. So, I mean, this is what's happening. The surface society, until physical intervention happens, the surface society is collapsing in full accordance with the second law of thermodynamics, which states that entropy in a closed system is always increasing. So basically, what's happening is that the surface society is kind of collapsing. The financial system, political, everything is kind of collapsing. Our own body, our bodies are collapsing. Their minds are collapsing. Everything is collapsing because that's just how a closed system works. Like the entropy just keeps increasing. So the thing is, like, it's not really up to us. Like at this point, it's kind of like if there's no intervention, then there's nothing we can do, right? If we're still stuck in this closed quarantine, then like we do not have the way to liberate our own planet. There is a theoretical. I know that there was like something recently. There was a question about this, right? Like recently, like someone had asked that how can we there was something about like there's a theoretical way for surface humans to liberate the planet, but it's only a theoretical way. It's not actually like we can't really do it ourselves. So what can we do? There are 6 things that we can do that's mentioned in this article, right? The building the Chintamani grid, building the tachyon chamber grid, soul family connections, physical SOTR, and
preparing. I think you may be asking about this one. Preparing for physical contact with the light forces according to inner guidance, and refraining from interpersonal conflicts by choosing non-reaction and conscious positive action above reaction. I still think these are the most important things. And yeah, sure. I mean, you can prepare for physical contact according to your inner guidance. But I don't think planetary liberation is like, I mean, we've done a lot. Like, without people meditating in the last few years, we would have been stuck in, like, the WEF version, 15-minute cities, digital wallets, you cannot even leave your own city. I mean, things would be much worse. All the stuff that happened in the past few years. We would have just been in a much worse situation, right? So we just keep on holding the light, like until the intervention occurs. Like, you can prepare for physical contact. Right now, the thing is, it's too dangerous. It's if physical contact were to happen, then you would be killed, and not just you. There would be asymmetric retaliation. Thousands of people would be killed, right? Because the dark forces will, the moment of the event is the moment when the dark forces lose the control of the surface of the earth. Otherwise, you will have this asymmetric retaliation, where thousands of others would be killed. So it's not possible for the light forces to help us out right now. Even only after the event will they be able to help us out without the asymmetric retaliation threat. I mean, this is a very small thing. I mean, they could even like trigger some toplet bombs or whatever, those black stones and stuff like that, or like bio weapons and stuff. It's a lot of negative retaliatory mechanisms that the dark forces still have. So we cannot liberate the planet ourselves. We need the galactics to come and save us. And that will happen because the cosmic cycle is ending and the light forces have finally infiltrated the surface, and etc. etc. So you can do whatever you want to prepare for the coming months. Uh, but yeah, it's going to be. I mean, I see that Ascension 1221, that portal that opens in August. I kind of see it like a rift in space time, actually. So just it's like, I don't know, like a rift in space time. It's like the sky will open, almost like something like this. I actually see it something like this, like the kind of understanding I have of 1221 is something like the whole sky will kind of have this phenomena, that's bursting open the veil. The veil will go away. You know, the spaceships will decloak. We'll be forced to exit the quarantine, basically, and hopefully by that point it will be safe enough. Which is why I don't see the event not happening before 1221 opens, because if there is something that's going to drastically alter the universe's, configuration, and it's forcing open the earth from its quarantine. Um, so you can prepare for it. I mean, you can think about 1221 and what it means, really, for such a big portal to open. And it has been called the most what do you call it, the biggest energetic event. See, in the New York workshop it was said that 1221 will be the greatest energetic event we will experience in our lifetimes. It will be a super powerful activation, and the light forces are very excited, and it will open and lead to changes. So you can prepare yourself in whatever way you feel guided for this portal to open. You know, I don't know if I answered your question, but yeah.
Yeah, that's helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. The only
Okay.
problem is we can't expect changes before. I mean, not much will change until either July or August. Like, if my calculations are correct, and that this portal does open in August, then because also on the portal you have this date, what I'm talking about, right? The same exact date, uh, August 21st. We have this exact date written in this portal 2025 post. We actually have this date written down here. There's this thing, this wheel, basically, that shows you the August 21st, right? So you have this date written down when we're talking about the Ascension portal of 2025. And I look at everything. So I even look at the file name. The file name is A2025. So I think it's Ascension 2025, I think. And then even in the Q&As, you have like many, for example, like someone was asking like, will the Ascension portal still close in July 2025? And actually the reply was that it closes in August 2025, right? So, I mean, we know the Ascension portal 1221 will open. It will not close. It will open in August, uh, as per the astrology and as per the theory. So, yeah. I don't know when we can expect the changes. Whether the changes can happen in July or they cannot happen in July, we don't know. But definitely the changes will happen from August onwards. At least August 21st onwards. And I think the Sirius pulse is also kind of relevant for this. So you have the Sirius and Isis connection, goddess Isis, 1221 is actually the code between Sirius and Isis, right? And because Sirius is SI and Isis is IS, so it's like 12, 20, 21, 12 basically. So Isis and Sirius are basically helping to open 1221. This has been said in one of the conferences this year in Kyoto. Let me see if I can find that quote. Yeah. So in the Kyoto conference, it was said that the Sirius cosmic ray will send some key contributions to the 1221 doorway. Okay. We have Sirian cosmic ray will send some key contributions to this doorway. So what does this mean? If the doorway is opening in August, right, which I think is August 21st, then the Sirian cosmic ray, okay, I don't know if the exact words were Sirius cosmic ray or was it Sirius pulse. We have to be careful, right? So if it's cosmic ray, maybe there's some other serious thing happening in August, but I'm not aware of that. I'm only aware of the Sirius pulse and then that Venus Jupiter Sirius conjunction. But I'm not sure what that'll do. That's August 11th. But if we're talking about the Sirius pulse, if this means the Sirius pulse, then we know the date of the Sirius pulse is July 7th. We know that. We've calculated it ourselves and we've also found it on the portal. So if the Sirius pulse is actually going to bring back, is going to bring back Isis, the goddess Isis to Earth, and so it will help to open 1221 in August because it will liberate the Earth, and Earth is the last point which is slowing down the whole universe's evolution. If you read this quote, so everything in the universe is connected. Until the Earth situation is resolved, the evolution of the entire universe is slowed down. So if Sirius Pulse is actually contributing to 1221, then that is a interesting proposition actually. That 1221 Sirius and Isis coming back on the Sirius Pulse. And I've already mentioned also that this is not an ordinary Sirius Pulse. This is a super powerful pulse because it occurs on the same day that Sun and Sirius make a conjunction from the Earth's perspective. So every year you have Sun and Sirius conjunction on July 7th, basically. As you can see in this chart over here, Sirius is like this black line and Sun is this yellow line. And the intersection is on July 7th. So it's not a coincidence that like the Sirius pulse of this year is on that exact day that we have Sun conjunct Sirius, which is a very, very powerful goddess Isis portal, basically. We have been told this already in this post over here is like Isis portal here. July 3rd, which is the moment of Sun Sirius conjunction, a very powerful Isis portal. So, Isis and Sirius are going to then use this 1221, using 1221, they will come. It's like a reverse loop, time reverse loop, basically, to liberate the Earth, So I think July 7th will be a direct liberation of the Earth due to a time reverse loop sent by portal 1221. That's why I'm trying to connect Sirius, Isis, and 1221 together. and trying to make sense of what was said in this quote from the Kyoto conference, that Syrian cosmic ray will send some key contributions to 1221. That's my understanding. Like, so yeah, Sirius Pulse this year is not an ordinary one. We have Sun conjunct Sirius on that day. We also have like Neptune sextile Pluto happening at that time. Um, you know, and then you have a bunch of Sirius pulses from 1425, at least 1425 onwards. All the Sirius pulses have been preparing us. So the Sirius pulse happens every 25th and 75th year of every century, right? So 1425, 1475, 1525, 1575, etc. So, um, so yeah. So the Sirius pulses have been preparing us from at least 1425 onwards. We have some history of all these Sirius pulses preparing us for the 2025 Sirius pulse, including the 1775 Sirius pulse, which has actually been mentioned in this Portal 2025 post. You should read this post if you haven't. A Sirius pulse in 1775 signified the peak of the Enlightenment movement in France, formation of mystery school in Paris by Saint-Germain, and the short herd around the world, which triggered the American Revolution. Inside the Brotherhood of the Star, 1775 is known as the Year of the Light. So even that pulse has prepared us for this year's Sirius Pulse. And, it says Sirius Pulse in 1975 has opened the Ascension window, and Sirius Pulse in 2025 will close it. It's not Ascension window now, it's actually Planetary Liberation window, I think. Its Ascension window will remain open. So yeah. Ascension plan, if you read the Ascension plan update. So yeah, okay, if you read these things, I mean, I've already covered this, maybe I've already spoken about this to death, actually. But like, the Ascension window opened on May 25th, 1975, turning point in 1999, August 11th, and July 7th, 2025, it will close, basically. And then from that day onwards, we have been told that the energies will not, that the Ascension window will not close in 2025, it will remain permanently open. This means that the energies will keep increasing, and since 2025, the Ascension energies will forever permanently flow from the central sun to our solar system to the planetary surface. So yeah, let's see. I mean, the energy of this year is very important and very special. Most important Sirius pulse in 26,000 years is going to happen on July 7th. So yeah, prepare yourselves, I would say. Because also, if you look at the astrology, right, what I was talking about like earlier, like on July 7th, if you really zoom in, like you will see on July 7th, you see where my mouse is right now, like Uranus entry into Gemini on July 7th. On that exact same day, you have Neptune, this green line, which is meeting M87 galaxy, which is this black line. So you see Neptune is exactly meeting M87 galaxy on July 7th. It's actually on July 4th, but it's okay. July 7th, same thing. So that will trigger another flash from the cosmic central sun, in addition to the Sirius pulse. So I'm saying that this will send us the emerald ray from the source to Earth in specific. So if you see last year in 2024, you see Pluto over here in Q2 had basically it was almost trining M87 galaxy when it stationed retrograde in Q2 2024. The exact day was May 1st, 2024. You see this line, Pluto and M87, they intersect almost. So that was actually, that sent us, I would say that sent us also a very powerful flash from M87 galaxy. And that was the day when Gungnir was activated, May 1st, 2024. The mechanism is what I'm presenting to you here, that Pluto made an exact trine with M87 galaxy. So Gungnir was activated, and just 2 days later or 3 days later, we were given information about emeralds. The Bogota workshop happened, and Emerald Agartha meditation was introduced for the first time. So, in my opinion, this was the first flash of the emerald ray to Earth. In my opinion, last year on May 1st. But this year, and then even before that in 2023, you also had this Pluto and MED7. You can't see them intersecting, but the moment of this turning point, basically when Pluto was stationary, when the line was flat, we had a flash from MED7 galaxy as well. So that was actually the initial deadline for the event. If the super wave had to happen this year, the galactic super wave. That was also a super powerful flash from MED7 last in 2023, May 1st, I think, something like that as well. So we have a history of these flashes being triggered from MED7 when the outer planets make a aspect with it. So for example, in Q1 2025 also, when Pluto made an exact trine with MED7, we had a flash on February 6th from MED7. That is the reason why the Phoenix workshop was held on February 2nd or 3rd, just 3 days before that flash. And so now we are approaching the flash that will be triggered when Neptune makes an exact opposition with MED7 on July 7th. So yeah, I think we have many potential opportunity zones. Like for example, then the next flash is 8-8 when Pluto makes an exact trine with MED7. Then we have the portal 1221 opening, So we have many moments of opportunity. Gungnir is very important actually. Gungnir is giving you energies directly from the top of the tree of life, called the Yggdrasil or something like that. And it has been described as like an evergreen tree with a sacred lake below it. This tree of life, this Yggdrasil. So it reminds you of the Emerald Agartha meditation. We go into a lake over there, and Gungnir is a spear of heaven, and its rune, the symbol of Gungnir is very relevant. I like this post. I just read it yesterday again. This spear of heaven. You should reread it. It's very nice, actually. And you can see actually like the sun is starting to do X flares again. I don't know if you guys noticed, but we had X flares like recently. I think there was one yesterday. It was X 1.1 flare or yesterday or today, wherever you are. So yeah, solar activity is also increasing. That puts pressure on human Kundalini as well. But if you are still doubting that the changes will happen this year, I found some some things from the U.S. debt clock, which we know they know about 1221. It is confirmed that they know about 1221 because they have posted some coded messages. For example, we have here from the portal that someone with access to very high level intel and advanced understanding of operations behind the scenes started posting coded messages on the US debt clock website. Message on October 2nd quotes Matthew 21:12, and message on October 8th quotes Revelation. So the US debt clock is high level insiders, very high level insiders, and they are aware of 21:12. You see, it's like this quote, Jesus went into the temple of God and cast out them that sold and bought in the temple and overthrew the tables of the money changers. This quote is from Matthew 21:12. So they are aware of 1221, and they have also mentioned that in their tweets, for example, they have mentioned the golden age and everything. In 2025, you see over here, we have 2025 written down here. And then in another place as well, in two tweets, they have mentioned 2025, actually. So, yeah, I think the stage is pretty much set. Like, I don't think changes will not happen this year. It's just a matter of whether they'll happen in my opinion, July or August. But definitely, like soon. Hope definitely before the end of this year. And I think they can happen in July or August. So we'll see. Yeah. Any questions? Any other questions?
I think you answered most of my question, which was, I understand the time frames keeps changing on when these things might happen, but it also seems that we're kind of compressing up against the time before it's not possible for the event to happen. Right? Aren't we approaching a time when it's kind of, it either has to happen or not happen? Is that, am I understanding that correctly?
I don't think it. No, the thing is, it cannot not happen because that's the. I mean, it's a logical step. The quarantine cannot last forever. The quarantine of the Earth, the fact that we're cut off from the rest of the universe, it cannot last forever. It's a metastable. We live in a false vacuum. That's what the false vacuum theory is. That the scientists have discovered that basically like the underlying quantum structure of this surface of the Earth is very unstable, basically. So we are transitioning to a stable quantum structure, basically. And so that is one reason. The other reason is that, we cannot live in the quarantine forever. There are many reasons why the event cannot not happen, So it has to happen. It's not about it not happening. I
So
don't know.
maybe that's,
Yeah.
maybe that's
Mhm.
to ask the question the opposite way, which is, let's say, again, not much happens over this year, then what does it look like? I'm not trying to negate what you're saying. I'm just,
Yeah.
if this doesn't happen now, then, what are the potentials
Mm,
after that?
I mean, if then what do you think will happen?
I think it'll get more and more chaotic from what I'm viewing. Things are just going to be increasingly chaotic. From
Yeah.
my intuitive sense, I've been waiting for something to happen for 30 years, probably, maybe more, 35 years. It keeps feeling like something's going to happen. And on one way, many things are happening. And on the flip side, everything's kind of all the same still.
Well, the thing is that the planetary liberation process began on with the previous Sirius pulse, basically. If I made a chart somewhere. I made a diagram. I'm gonna pull it up right now. One second. I'm just trying to show you the thing I'm trying to show. I don't know. I posted so much, it's hard for me to also find my stuff. Yeah, this is the planetary liberation timeline, basically. So we began on 5/25, like May 25th, 1975. That was the previous Sirius pulse. And then we had the turning point in 1999 on August 11th. And then we have the last Sirius pulse on July 7th this year. So a lot of people have been a lot of people have been saying that nothing is happening, nothing is changing, like, because it's true from a human perspective. Like, for example, like the average human lifespan is, I think, depends on the country, but like around 70 years, I think. The average resistance movement lifespan, we have been told, is 200 years. The average Pleiadian lifespan is 1,000 years. And I think most of the Aldebarans and all, they are also 1,000 years, something like that. So from our perspective, like, a lot of people have died, a lot of people, part of this movement, they were there at the beginning, but they're no longer here. Because it's a 50-year process, and it does take 50 years. It has taken 50 years. The hope was for it to take, for it to happen in 2012. And then the hope was for it to happen in 2020. But none of those things materialized. But, this is the time window within, this is, nothing is certain, okay? Nothing is like guaranteed, okay? This is just a time window within which the event is planned to happen, okay? Within which it's supposed to happen. It's more likely to happen, This is how Source wants it to happen, The time window within which Source wants it to happen. Now, obviously, in 1996, you had the biggest problem, right? The biggest attack on the universe in the last. I mean, a shock like 1996 has only been experienced two times before it. The first was at the Big Bang when the lurker was created, and the second was 7 million years ago when implantation happened. But only 2 points in history has an attack like 1996 happened, which completely shocked the space-time continuum of the whole universe. And that's why the light forces were so scared of all the toplet bombs, and they thought the universe can, like, they thought the universe is no longer going to survive, basically, They were really scared. They were overpowered. They had to, they had to really fight a big, long war, to reclaim everything that was lost in 1996, And we're still kind of reeling from that, right now. That's why the event has not happened, If 1996 had not happened, the event would have happened on this August 11, 1999. That was the beautiful plan of Source, that before the end of the millennium, we will have the event and Earth will be liberated, That was the beautiful plan, the simple plan. But obviously, 1996 happened. So this is the time window within which the event is planned to happen, within which it's supposed to happen, for the Earth. Now, I mean, the event is for the Earth, right? So I'm trying to show you another thing right now. I had pulled up one quote. Where did that quote go? I had just pulled up a quote. Oh, yeah. Okay. So this is the quote, right? We have the power to manifest the golden age. Cosmic laws guarantee that the event will happen. It's not possible that the event won't happen. We are simply concerned with fine tuning. The event is the next step, logical next step in human development. It's not possible to postpone or avoid the solar flash. Solar flash is not right now. That's 2037. But anyway, the pole shift and the transformation of consciousness will happen. So that's all 2037, not right now. But anyway, the system of debt cannot go on forever. Whatever, the charades cannot go on. Nothing can stop the breaking of the dam. So yeah, I mean, most people will not believe in the event until it happens. That is the scope of their consciousness, blah, blah, blah. I mean, this is what I'm trying to say. The event is guaranteed to happen. If the Earth can survive, then the event will happen. If the Earth gets blown up or something, then obviously nothing will happen. But because of the cosmic laws, there's a law called the syntropic inequation. It's from one of the really old posts on the portal. Syntropic inequation, yeah. So this is the post called Victory of the Light. And victory of the light will happen with mathematical certainty. There's a law in hyperdimensional physics called the syntropic inequation. It states that the total entropy of the universe decreases with time because the universe is not a closed system. And this means that at a certain point in time, total entropy of the universe decreases to a point which ensures absolute victory of the light over darkness. And then this means that, whatever. Basically, what this shows is that the event will happen. The transition from duality into oneness and the dissolution of the dark reality, all of this will happen with mathematical certainty. So, so this is the cosmic law that was being spoken about in the New York workshop. This is Phoenix workshop. Phoenix workshop, yeah, this year's Phoenix workshop. That says that the cosmic laws guarantee that the event will happen. So yeah, sure. Like if the event does not happen this year, firstly, like I think we need to understand these charts, right? This is a download I got as well while doing the Emerald Ray. Like you see these charts, like you see these planets, right? Like I have marked July 7th on this, but you can also see August is just after July, So you can see that these lines of the outer planets, they're moving, they're making the new Renaissance configuration, the Sirius pulses happening. All of these things are not just happening by chance. When we study astrology, we really understand the source. We understand what source wants, and source clearly wants our liberation. Source wants to end all this darkness that has been plaguing this universe since the Big Bang or whatever, or since like many cosmic cycles, basically. So source wants to end the darkness, and it's not like these lines, these planets would not move if the cosmic forces did not move them, Like source is literally moving the planets for us to liberate us. That's the download I got. It's, we have to understand that like all this beautiful astrology from the Earth's perspective is happening to liberate us, I mean, it's a deep sort of insight, but none of these things needed to happen, Like, so I think like the event, I don't understand really like how I might have a positive bias, how the event cannot happen this year. But if it doesn't happen this year, okay, big deal. It will happen like sometime in the future, And how long? I don't think it'll take too long. I personally, I've given my estimation, right? Like when I think it'll happen. So we'll see. But if it doesn't happen this year, first of all, this year means that you have all these lines, that are kind of coming so close together in August and opening the 1221 portal and everything, So 1221 allows the source to directly intervene in the creation, which I was trying to show like in this quote that I found here. This one. The very powerful doorway will open, which will lead to final removal of darkness from this universe and also final liberation of this planet. Like me personally, I don't see a future where the 1221 opens and the event does not happen. The energetic, the energetic, whatever, the energy of 1221 is just too big. It's too big for the event to not happen, I don't see that happening actually. I don't understand it, like how it cannot happen. But if it does not happen, we move on. We know that the event is guaranteed to happen with mathematical certainty at some point in the future. So, but this is the most probable time frame, actually. This until July 7th is the most probable time frame for the event. Because all of the darkness needs to be removed in this 50-year cycle of the Sirius pulses. And this has been said in the Q&As also many times. Like if you see remove, for example, like you see these quotes like around say 2025, Sirius B will be the furthest away from Sirius A. This cycle takes about 50 years, which started in 1975 and ends in 2025. All the darkness must be removed during this 50-year cycle. For example. If you read the Portal 2025 post, basically the Sirius pulse is a very powerful evolutionary pulse for the Earth, See, 50-year Sirius cycle sends a powerful evolutionary pulse to planet Earth every 25th and 75th year of each century. And the whole process of the planetary liberation began with the Sirius pulse in 1975. I'm just trying to find that quote. Yeah, this quote. On May 25th, 1975, the whole 50-year process of the planetary liberation has started. So that's why this webinar is also exactly 50 years since the day when the planetary liberation began. Today is one of the most unique timeline days, in the whole year, actually. A very strong timeline runs through the date of May 25th. That's been mentioned. But anyhow, this is kind of the gist. This is when the event is planned to happen. Someone even sent me like QAnon. QAnon had actually mentioned about this date, July 7, 2025. You see, QAnon had written on July 9th, 2019, to note the next 6 years. So that puts it exactly at July 7, 2025. I don't know if you want to believe in QAnon or what, but like, a lot of people are aware of these dates in the background, I would say. And then you obviously, in the latest Taiwan workshop, which I don't know why the notes, I can't find them properly. I think they've been removed or something. Or maybe they're not, I don't know. I think the link has changed. I don't know. But basically, humanity's free will come back. Once 1221 is activated, our life plans will reset. And more importantly, humanity will be able to exert its free will. Since 95, dark forces have suppressed humanity's free will and blah, blah, blah. The light forces fully understand the value of free will. They will rekindle humanity's sovereign power. This is the year of the snake, Kundalini energy. It will activate our long suppressed free will. So once the 1221 portal opens, humanity will begin to reverse the situation. We'll be able to exercise our free will and finally fulfill our higher purposes. We will resume our planned missions for this life. I don't know. These are from the Taiwan notes. But if they're talking about free will and stuff, like I don't see any of that being able to be exercised when the dark forces are still around. They have to be removed, right? The ascension process is one of the most important journeys of our future lives. A massive ascension portal will open in the second half of this year. This massive portal will reverse the aftermath of the great forgetting of 1996. It sounds pretty promising to me, Any thoughts or anything?
Oh, that was helpful. Thank you. It's a lot of information.
Yeah. You can
Makes
watch the
sense.
recording because I just keep throwing information because I mean the thing is it's like too much information actually, but it's complicated stuff. It's not that simple actually. It's quite you know complicated, but the conclusion is that I think change is coming this year. Um, hopefully before 12/21 opens, which is before August 21st. Hopefully, like I want the changes to come like immediately. I don't even want to wait till August. I don't. I wish we could have had the changes today, but it seems like we need to wait until at least July, if not August. So, but you see, like these charts, like for example, this chart of the three outer planets, like source, it just shows to us that source really cares about us. You know, the planets they're not just moving randomly. They're moving for us, basically, for our liberation. I think this is the most important chart. Like, even though it has been mentioned that that midpoint chart is more important, I think this one is more important than even the midpoint chart. Because in this, you can clearly even see the midpoint happening in August. Like, you see the Neptune line is pretty much touching Uranus and Pluto in August. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything else I want to talk about in this. There's a lot of theory stuff. Um, Apocastasis is one idea about this. Cosmic reversal is also you know, the apocalypse, basically. There was a post called Apocalypse, but this apocalypse won't happen now. This will happen at the pole shift in 2037. So actually, until 2023, there was an idea that the superwave, the galactic superwave, could happen in 2025. Um, so they were planning for that until May 2023, but then the event did not happen then, so they had to postpone the superwave because the event needs to happen before the superwave. There needs to be a transition period. But basically, the completion of the great cosmic cycle, which lasted over 13 billion years, um, this universe is right now at the turning point from expansion into contraction. Uh, so that is the unique moment when the source, the absolute, can directly intervene into the creation and dissolve the primary anomaly and all evil related to it. And this is the real reason why all darkness will soon disappear. And that moment of direct intervention is called the apocalypse, and it has been described in the Revelation. And this moment can also be called the cosmic reversal. And scientists are beginning to understand that it will happen not billions of years from now, but much sooner. You know. So that is why, I mean, this is the real reason. Like with this 12/21, the cosmic cycle ending is the real reason for the darkness to go away. So I don't actually see, like I personally I don't see anything beyond August 21st. Like I don't see any future with darkness beyond August 21st. Whether July 7th happens or not, we'll see. But beyond August 21st, I think it should be fine. And this is the most important chart. I mean, I keep pulling this up because I think this is the most fascinating and most important chart. Like you see right now where we are in May, we are somewhere here, like where my mouse is pointing right now, somewhere in May, we're here. And Uranus is rapidly moving down into Gemini. It's not in Gemini right now. It's still in Taurus, but it's rapidly moving down towards Gemini. You know, like you see here where my mouse is basically. So we're in the last few stages, last few days of Uranus in Taurus. And then Uranus and Gemini will be a completely different resonance. And I already mentioned, right, like Uranus changing its sign is it has much historical context. Like the Gamma timeline began when Uranus entered Taurus in May 2018. Before that, May 25, 2010 was when Uranus changed its sign, and that day we had Blue Shield 1. And then before that, we had Uranus changing its sign in December 2003, which was the end of the dark forces rule between 1996 and 2003. And then before that, Uranus changed its sign on January 11, 1996, the exact day of the Archon invasion. And if you really pull it back, Uranus's sign changed in 1975 as well. In May 1975, Uranus entered it changed its sign on May 1st, 1975. And you'll remember that the planetary liberation movement began on May 25th, 1975. So Uranus's sign change is always associated with, with planetary liberation moments, So the Gamma timeline will end on July 7th when Uranus enters Gemini, in my estimation. So this is the last few stages, the last mile basically of Uranus before it enters Gemini, and it's rapidly moving down, to change the resonance of the planet. So yeah, any other questions or anything? Anyone has any thoughts, anything? I think I pretty much presented everything. It's been, I think there might be some chats. Okay. I don't understand Arabic, unfortunately. Yeah, I think if there's nothing else, then anyone wants to share anything else?